Hello everyone, I'm NixProCasual and thanks for being here in my first in what I hope will become an ongoing series of early access first looks. In these videos I'm hoping to bring out the positive in games, where they've come from, who's developed them, why, where they could go going forward, my thoughts on the state of how the game is currently, and also I'd like to come back to the games after a while and sort of see how they've progressed from my first impressions. So to kick off this series, I'm going to be looking at Yuna Other Troubles by Strawberry Entertainment. I downloaded this on release day. I just looked at what was available on that day. I felt like trying something new, and this was here. So I downloaded it. I've been fortunate enough with this one to be able to talk directly to the developers. They've been super cool, answering questions about the gameplay and also just about the development itself. You know, it's easy for people to crap all over early access games, but they are in development, and people often forget that there's actually real people behind this that have put time and effort into it. So speaking of those people behind it, I'm going to paraphrase what they've said to me in emails. I'll send them a link to this and they can correct me if anything I'm saying is wrong. But it's a team of 3 people who've known each other for a long time. They were finding their own student life a bit mundane, and because of this they were wondering what could they do to create a more interesting student life, and that's where Yuna and Other Troubles was born, really. This team have worked on the game for 18 months in their spare time. They released it to Steam in early access, I believe it was the 9th of January. They have a Twitter at Yuna Other Troubles, as well as a website which you can access at StarwberryEntertainment.world. From what I gather from looking at crash dumps in the game has developed an Unreal Engine. Has a lot of perks available with that, like all the lightings and all the options available. Now to the meat of what the game is really all about. The story is a little flimsy, I won't lie. Skipped a bit at the beginning. The theme is that you're Yuna Hasegawa and you've transferred to this prestigious school where shenanigans take place in the form of interactions with the students and storylines you can overcover, and you keep track of them in your diary and progress them day, evening and night in some cases. The main things that keep you busy each day, for now at least, we'll be figuring out how to continue the storylines, bit of trial and error there, whether that's searching for secret clubs, figuring out how to brew potions, going to after school clubs, or getting back at students who've embarrassed you, or even searching for a ghost. Besides this, you have 4 main stats to manage. They're always on screen. That's energy, study, discipline and mood. Energy is depleted throughout the day by doing tasks such as studying, or by interacting with people or learning at clubs. To study, you can study at school, study at home, and fit that around other things. Discipline, this is mainly if you have any contraband on you in the school or other reasons that I won't go into to spoil the game. And finally, your mood. Mood, you can play video games at home, and there's a few scenarios throughout the day where these things change. You lose energy pretty much all the time, and mood and study go down over time, so you have to keep on top of them. So far I've found it really easy on normal mode to keep all these managed. The balance is probably not quite right yet, and I found discipline itself could be very harsh for a small mistake, and I had to save scum a few times just to keep the story going. I'm not sure as of yet how you can make discipline back up, but I've not explored that with any real anger. You may or may not already have guessed that this is an anime-themed, anime-looking game, and with it a lot of the tropes that come with anime, which may or may not be our thing. There's quite a big focus on the lewder side of things. If that's for you, you'll be at home here. The UI in the game is a bit clunky. If you're willing to put a little bit of effort into it, it starts to make sense, but could use some work. On the graphic side of things, the models are animated quite nicely. For like a start, the textures could probably do with a little bit of a boost, and some of the models are unusually sized. I feel they need normalizing. As you go around the grounds, The cherry trees are really nicely made, and the fallen blossoms too. And with the lighting, with Unreal, this being built on Unreal, some of the light, it's a really nice scene. Albeit the trees are somewhat unnaturally uniform in places. There's quite a lot of them. One unusual thing about how the game works is that the interactions you take place if you're going through a door or talking to someone, it's all based from where your camera's pointing rather than the character, which is unusual from my experience anyway, but I got used to it pretty fast. And if I could talk about one thing I was impressed with, it's that every single student has a name, a classroom, they're part of a club, maybe part of a secret club. They even have a locker underneath the stairs. At lunchtime, they all pour out of the classrooms and go to places. Some will go to the canteen, some will go hang out at sofas, and it really builds up this feeling of actually being in a school. There's a really good sense of humour to the game, and there's parts that aren't fully developed, and the developers have no problem laughing at themselves because of it. The music's fairly unoffensive, and surprisingly varied, for what I believe is royalty-free stock music. So if I could move on now to the things I'd like to see developed in the coming months, I would say that a large amount of my time playing the game so far, around 11 hours-ish, I think I've clocked up, is trying to figure out what I should be doing next and how I can do it. There's quite a bit of fun in that, especially when you finally figure it out. It was quite rewarding, but having something in between running around the school, sort of checking for stuff, and having a little bit of help, I think could be a better balance. A better balance between exploration and frustration. I did get a bit fatigued running around sometimes, and I feel like I can invest more time in the game if I could actually get more into the storylines. I think the best way this could be improved is developing the UI a little bit, and also making use of some of the mechanics they've gotten already, where they add sort of sparkles to characters that are of note for something that's going on. That could be really useful. So if I can summarise, this game isn't going to change the genre anytime soon, but it's a really well done start for an early access side project for a small group of friends, and I congratulate them on spending so much time bringing this all together. I mean, I'm a developer myself by trade, so I have some idea of what goes into all this. There are a lot of possibilities with where this game can go from here, and they've already released a few patches already. I'm still interested in concluding some of the storylines, as well as keeping tabs on how it progresses. So I would say if you're new to the genre and you enjoy spending time figuring things out for yourself, then this would be a good one for you to come along with for the ride. If you're looking for a more accomplished and polished experience to start off with from an early access game, I'd say this is probably one you come back to in a couple of months. And with that concludes my early access thoughts for Yuna Other Troubles. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts, hit me up. I'd love to hear about them.